Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay. Good morning, good morning. Good morning. So I'm trying to get my life together over here or whatever. How is everybody doing? As you guys, oh, let me send my reminder. Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2. No. Yes, y'all can. Okay. Okay, I am back. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing? Um, can't get my life together. Okay. What's up, y'all? It's your girl Summer, your host with the most, coming to you with the little recappy cat. Now, I have been trying to cover this dialogue, or this recap of events for this the third time. This the last time I'm going to try to cover it. Talking about the Robert Hampton and Briana battle back and forth that has been going on all weekend long concerning custody. Can y'all hear that? Can y'all hear that playback? Tell me if y'all can hear it. If so, I'll cut it off. I was trying to make sure that my audio was okay. Let me see, cause I feel like y'all can hear that, and that echo would annoy me a little bit. Good morning, Jazzy. What up, Mookie? Hey, Miss Mary. What up, Jay? Hey, Martin. What's up? What's up, Catherine? Hey, Chrissy. What's up, Butters? How y'all feeling this morning? Okay, so we're gonna be talking about Robert Hampton and Brianna battle this morning. Okay, all weekend long, it has been a controversy surrounding their custody agreement, their visitation agreement. Um, and there has been so many different pages that have been covering it that now the bloggers that are covering the pages that are covering it and reacting to it are now beefing. Hey, Steph. Hey, love. It's girl, I thought I muted this. Why can I still hear it? This is crazy. Let me see. Okay. So the people who are covering it are now beefing. And two of the bigger platforms that are known ones on this side, from what I have noticed that are beefing now is uh 2K, talks with 2K, and uh what is her name? Is it Talk About It with Amoria? I think it's Talk About It with Amoria. They are beefing, okay? They are beefing. It started off from it's surrounding the Robert Hampton and Brianna saga. They start beefing. It was something about a nipple shown, and he was dragging Amora, and Amora dragged him, and then 2K Page got hit with a strike or was hit with a privacy issue, and his video got demonetized, and it's just a whole bunch. Like it's turned into a whole bunch It's turned into a whole bunch. Yes, the bloggers are not just blogging, but they are throwing bows. Okay, if you're over here on you Facebook, please don't hesitate to hit that share button. Sharing is caring. Put me in some groups if you don't like to share to your page. You could tag a friend, bring them in. You can also share on YouTube. Just drop down your live chat and copy the link and share it out. And please don't forget to hit the thumbs up. If you're tuning in from YouTube and it's kicking you out or you can't engage, it's because you have not subscribed to the channel. So hit that subscribe button. It is absolutely free. Hey Tori Boo. Hey Ebony Baby. Hey Cupcake Boo. Okay. Hey y'all. Oh, we got two Ebonies in here. No, that's a different Ebony. Hey Ebony. Um. So I wanted to give my 2 cents on the whole Brianna and Robert thing. So I'm going to take y'all back a little bit. So most of y'all know that their divorce played out on social media. Most of y'all know that their divorce played out on social media, and people ended up picking sides. So you have people who are on the Rob side, and you have people who are on the Bree side. Let me tell y'all, Bree Hoff comes strong. Robert Hampton side comes strong. Okay, and I don't want no beef with none of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here to report the news for how I see it. Oh my God, sounds like the May drama. So okay, so their divorce was finalized a few months ago, and they entered into a visitation schedule with their daughter. Okay, now I want to take this back to the weekend of Rick Ross's car show. Okay, I'm going to take this back to the weekend of Rick Ross's car show. Now, let's keep this in mind before I get into that. The agreement that I know about, which I saw like the paperwork for and people explaining it, is the agreement is that Rob is able to get his daughter the first week, the third week, and if there is a fifth weekend, the first weekend, the third weekend, and if there is a fifth weekend in the month, he's entitled to the fifth weekend. He was also entitled to 2 weeks of spring break, which popped in around the time of Rick Ross's car show. Now, I was trying to figure out, she said, Team the Truth. Hey, Melissa, well, I'm happy you're here because maybe you could kind of give me some insight for those who are Team the Truth. So I was trying to go get a timeline. I want to start at the Rick Ross show, car show, because he was supposed to have his daughter starting that weekend, but he ended up at Rick Ross car show. Now, I never quite understood what happened here. I was trying to figure out, like, was this a situation where he was supposed to get her and something happened with Briana? I wasn't sure if they had a conversation and he had relayed to Briana, hey, I can't get her this weekend because I had plans. I'm not really sure what went on. Now, so I went and looked at both sides, and from both sides, it sounded like both sides were saying Team Robert and Team Bree were saying Rob went to the car show versus getting his daughter because he needed to work. He looked at it as him going to work, which as a content creator it is. And so he didn't get his child. Now I can't remember what page I was on, but it's a Robert Hampton page, and when somebody put in the comment section, well, if he didn't come get her and the weekend he was supposed to get her, and he went to Rick Ross car show instead, I wouldn't have gave my baby to him the next time either. Now I don't necessarily agree with that, withholding the child because the person didn't show up a previous weekend. So he missed that whole 2 weeks, right, Jazzy Jazz? Because he was supposed to have her 2 weeks. He was supposed to have her from, I think, like the 31st until like the 16th or 14th or something like that. And I remember after he came home from the Rick Ross show, the following weekend was, I mean, that Sunday was Father's Day. And was it that Sunday or was it the following week? I know Father's Day followed the Rick Ross show, and I remember him doing a live saying, "Look at me, I'm by myself on Father's Day yet again. I attempted to get my baby girl. My daughter was kept from me. Yet again, I'm by myself for Father's Day." That's not it. He wanted to front for Father's Day after missing. Well, I don't want assumptions. Yeah, I try not to go with like the speculation part. I was trying to get like real details of like what actually happened. Was it a conversation between him and Bree? Did he just dip out? Like, what was said from actually him or her? I'm right. Hey, Shirley Pearl. Here we go. Let's get out your feelings. Who? Let me not read because I'm gonna get one thing don't have to do with the other. One thing don't have to do with the other. Let me stop reading the comments because y'all going to distract me because I know y'all have really strong feelings about your view, right? But what I was able to gather, because I went down Rob's page trying to see if he put up a video or a post on his Facebook or YouTube, I couldn't find anything for clarification about what happened during that weekend when he was supposed to get her. When he was supposed to get her. Hey, Rebecca. What happened that weekend when he was supposed to get her, when he ended up at the Rick Ross car show. Now, like I said, I saw from both sides, Rob's side and Bree's side, where he said he had to go to work that weekend. And I do remember him putting up some type of post about, we have to work. Sometimes we have to work like things come up. So I don't really know what happened during that time. I do know that he didn't have his daughter, right? And it seems like it's a consensus that he decided to go to the Rick Ross car show versus getting his daughter. Now I don't know where that left him and Bree, like how Bree felt about that or whatever. I do know that Bree had put up a post saying, don't be trying to get her now when it was time for you to get her. You decided to go to Rick Ross car show or something like that. She had put like in her story, right? I don't know exactly what happened. None of us do, but he has two daughters and a granddaughter. Just saying, yeah. But we covering just the custody between Briana and Robert concerning the little girl. That's it. I don't know enough about. I think her name is Daisha to even get into that. I heard a little bit of stuff this weekend, about the mom and her and that, but I don't know nothing about her. All I've been watching is the whole play out for this custody. So I was like, I'm wondering why he didn't, why he, so my 2 cents on that, based on what I could figure out, I couldn't get a definitive answer like from Rob or Bree about what happened that weekend. But if he didn't get his daughter that weekend and he decided to go to the Rick Ross car show, I think that was foul, in my opinion. Okay. Desharia. Yes. Thank you. I think that was foul in my opinion, right? Because the car show, from my understanding, was just a single day. It wasn't like a full weekend. So I don't know. And it was in the state of Georgia. So it's not something I believe that he would have had to get like consent to do, because he would have still been in the state of Georgia. I think when you have a visitation agreement, you have to get approval like to leave the state itself, right? So I'm like any normal parent, and this is not no slight. I don't have no dog in the bone. I'm just giving my perspective. um in a situation like that, if I were in that situation and it was something that I wanted to do, um oh, but it might have been sticky with Brianna, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? I would have either had a conversation, and I don't know if this happened, it could have happened, I don't know. I would have had a conversation with Brianna to see if it was a way for either me to come get her the day after and continue our visitation for the 2 weeks. I would have took her with me and arrange for a babysitter. But I know, according to their documentation, he can't have someone watch her other than a family member without getting like the consent of her mother, because she has first right to refusal, just like him. And I know we heard Rob say that in that video, but that does not mean like that does not equate to he has a say about her leaving the state with her. It means if for some reason you had to exit left for an extended amount of time and you need to leave your child behind, then and you wasn't able to leave them with a family member, the other parent will have a right to take said child first before you went and got someone to care for her outside of a family member. Okay. I remember hearing something about Bree was supposed to take the kids on summer vacation, so he gave up those 2 weeks. That's interesting, Brittany. I only said that because it was Father's Day weekend. The BM is so bitter. Um I know that Briana. Oh, now I can't say for sure. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. Because something coming back to me after reading Brittany's comment. Because isn't that the same weekend that Briana went to Jamaica and surprised Janelle with the announcement that she was pregnant? Wasn't that the same weekend? Wasn't that the same weekend that she surprised Janelle? And I feel like I do remember him or someone saying something about um he thought the kids was going on vacation with her or something, or they were going somewhere together, but the kids ended up staying back, and I think the dad had watched them and stuff like that. Does that sound familiar to anybody? Was that the same? That's not the same weekend. I thought it was. I think I took a screenshot. Hold on, let me see, when did she go to Jamaica? Let's see, hold on, let me see when she went to Jamaica. You said yes it is. Yes let me just check, we gonna look, because Rick Ross car show was, I thought I took a screenshot of this stuff. I have to do better with like my receipts. June 3rd is Ja's birthday. June 3rd was Ja's birthday. And Rick Ross's car show was, his car show was June 1st. So yes, that was the same weekend. That was the same weekend. Okay, so it was the same weekend when she went to Jamaica and made the announcement. It was the same weekend of Rick Ross car show. And I can't say for sure, but I do feel like I remember a conversation on one of the sides about him thinking they were going on vacation or something to that, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to speak on that because I can't remember. No, I can't remember. I'm talking about the weekend when Brianna went to Jamaica to announce her pregnancy. Uh and with the mom was there and stuff like that. And I think it also was his birthday. Okay, that's the same weekend as the Rick Ross car show. So I was trying to fix, so if also then I'm gonna, so since I can't remember for sure, because thank you for that comment, because she didn't leave the kids with Jai. Her dad was there. I do know that. Luck. I definitely remember that the dad was there. Um, and dang. Okay, so I'm gonna move forward from that because dang, I forgot about that. I forgot about that, and I can't remember what happened in that circumstance. So we're gonna go ahead and move forward. So fast forward, right? Um, fast forward. So he had did the video about Father's Day. He wanted to get her for Father's Day. It didn't happen. He was supposed to have her for Father's Day. It was one of her scheduled days. Blase bluzo. Now let's fast forward to September. Okay. This past weekend was a scheduled visit with Rob, but he ended up not getting his daughter. Okay, so it's been a lot of controversy back and forth about whether Brianna was right for withholding, for taking the daughter to Florida, and whether it was his weekend or not. Okay, so we kind of talked about this yesterday. So just remember, Rob is entitled to the first weekend, the third weekend, and the fifth weekend if there is a fifth weekend in the month. Okay. I was thinking y'all talking about the weekend of her birthday when she left her kids with the freak who's not supposed to be around children. Right? No, no, but I thought her dad was there, Ebony. I know he was around. You talking about the weekend when like they were in the car? I think they went to church or he was shopping. They was like in the car and stuff. I know the dad was with them. Now I don't know if he was actually by himself or anything, but I know it was extended periods of time. But anyway, so Brianna ended up in the hospital. She said she was sick. Something was going on the weekend of the 6th. Now that's the weekend that Janelle, sorry. That's the weekend that Rob was supposed to get his daughter. It was a scheduled weekend for him, and he was supposed to get his daughter, but Bree was in a hospital, so he was unable to get her. Okay, he was unable to get her the weekend of the 6th because she was in a hospital. Now I was confused about like I know in their decree that it says that it should be like no third party interference. They will kind of work out the picking up and dropping off like between themselves and things like that. But I'm pretty sure that neither party would like get in trouble if they were to make an arrangement like another way, like being adults, doing what adults do, right? So I'm like, if she was in a hospital, right, where were the kids? Where was his daughter? And why couldn't he have just went and picked her up from where they were? Now I know in sometimes it's just a lot easier to stick to what's in black and white because of like history or problems. So just taking that into consideration, sometimes the things that have happened between two people prevent them from being able to deal with each other amicably, like mature, on a mature level. Because like sometimes you'll do something, think you're being kind, and you end up putting yourself in a position that gives you a headache. So you're like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. We just gonna stick to what it is. Unfortunately, I'm in the hospital. I can't meet with you like I'm supposed to. So you can't get her this weekend. So Amora had shared this screenshot. Now I hope y'all can see it. Okay, this is a conversation between Rob and Briana on the parenting app. And this is Rob telling Briana, like, I'm at the police station. He says 6:30 today, and then he says, I'm at the police station, and then he says, it's something to the degree of about the following weekend. He really needs to see his daughter, and he wants to know, can I come by and pick her up the following weekend? Like, since I can't get her this weekend because you were in the hospital, can I get her the following weekend? Is what's being alleged. I can't see the messages like totally. So this is what's from based on what we could see. It looks like they had some type of conversation. Now I was listening to Amoria's live, and she said that Brianna agreed to him getting her the weekend of the 13th. And then after they agreed, Brianna went to the meeting point and Rob didn't show up. He also didn't respond to the text messages. Now, I don't know if that's true. I don't know where Amoria got this from. She said that, because first I thought she was talking like in a matter of fact way. But then as I continued to listen, she said this was her perspective, perception, and what she thought was happening, and that she hadn't herself like confirmed it, but a third party told her like that is what allegedly went down, right? Don't argue in the comments, y'all. I'm not looking at the comments because I know I'm gonna get distracted, but don't argue in the comments, y'all. It's okay to give y'all perspective and y'all opinion, but like we could be mature. No need to like tussle, because honestly, like how a person feel and what they think, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna change their mind anyway. So don't even like waste your energy, y'all. So um he was supposed, allegedly, he didn't show up and he didn't respond when she showed up to drop the baby off on the 13th. Now, I don't know if that's true. That's speculation. I have not seen that confirmed anywhere. I haven't seen Rob say anything about that. I haven't seen Bree say anything. I haven't seen Bree say anything like directly. Like I haven't seen her say much of anything. So I don't know if that's true. Like I said, Amoria said that that was something she got from a third party. That's allegedly what went down. Okay, and so the 20th would have been Rob's next scheduled weekend to get his daughter. And when Rob went to go get his daughter, he couldn't get in touch with them. She didn't show up. And then he got the cops involved. Allegedly, a cop called Bree, and Brianna told the cop, that he was in Florida and that Rob had missed his scheduled weekend. Had missed his weekend. His weekend was last week. The cop in the video says, no, I'm looking at your paperwork according to what you sent me and also to what he showed me. This is the third weekend. He's supposed to have her this weekend. Now, people were arguing back and forth on, YouTube about whether it was still his weekend or not. Okay. So I don't understand how people are saying that because he didn't show up for the makeup day, alleged makeup day, that his scheduled weekend would now be forfeited. I wasn't really understanding how people were coming up with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you having a makeup day, or y'all coming to a mutual agreement about making up a day that was missed due to Brianna being in the hospital. should not have turned into, well, since I agreed for you to get her on the 13th, you can no longer get her on the 20th. To me, that doesn't make any sense, because now he is a visit in the, in the hole, meaning he's still backed up. He still didn't get his time for the month. Because if the 13th was to compensate for the 6th, then why would he then not be able to see her on the 20th? I saw some people interpreting their custody agreement with them being able to come to a mutual agreement about something as it trumping like the actual court suggested visitation, which didn't make any sense to me. So let me show y'all something. Where is it? Okay. So the court documents say about the parenting time, it says the father shall be entitled to visit with the child at any reasonable time the parties mutually agree upon, and shall not be limited by the schedule outlined in this agreement. I'm going to read it one more time. It says, the father shall be entitled to visit with the child at any reasonable time the parties mutually agree upon, and shall not be limited by the schedule outlined in this agreement. Meaning, we don't just have to stick to the first, the third, and the fifth weekend. If it's okay for me to get her the second weekend and we both agree to that, that's cool. If we agree to me getting her Monday through Wednesday, that's cool. It means that we don't have to just stick to what's being outlined here. We can kind of create our own pattern, our own schedule that works for us. Like if this schedule don't work for us and we both can agree to something different, then that's cool, right? Then it says, if the parties are unable to reach an agreement, the father shall be permitted to visit with the minor child on the first and the third weekend of each month, as well as the fifth weekend of each. Wait, as well as the first, the third, and fifth weekends of each calendar year on Friday from 6:30 p.m. starting and ending Sunday at 6:30 p.m. So if all else fails, if we can't come up with something on our own, then this is the schedule that we have to stick to, right? This is what we know is going is like black and white. This was agreed on in the courts. If it's some other days and stuff like that that we agree upon, outside of that, that is also okay. It means like our hands are not tied from um allowing our child to see the father more than what's scheduled on the paperwork, and agreeing for said child to be with the father outside of the scheduled times on the paperwork doesn't mean that the schedule is thrown out the window. If we agree that I can see my child, I could get her Tuesday and Thursday because I got something I want her to attend with me. It doesn't mean I can't then get her that Friday through Sunday that I'm scheduled for because I got her Tuesday and Wednesday. Like that's something that you guys would talk about and agree to. Like, can I get her Tuesday and Wednesday? Then the mom go, yeah, you could get her Tuesday and Wednesday, but if you get her Tuesday and Wednesday, then I want to keep her for that weekend. Then he could counter and say, well, how come I can't get her Tuesday and Wednesday and still get her for my weekend? And she'd be like, well, that don't work for me. I don't want you having her for that much, Tuesday and Wednesday in the weekend. And then he could go, well, if I can't get her Tuesday and Wednesday and still keep my weekend, then I'm going to just keep my weekend. They have to both mutually agree. It can't be like, oh, well, I agreed for you to see her X, Y, and Z. So now I'm going to snatch this other weekend. But it was no conversation about that. If something is already set in stone, then that doesn't change, whether it was a conversation or not. Like, you're going to follow what's already etched in stone unless you otherwise had a conversation stating that that would then change. Okay. So in my opinion and from my experience, just because there was an alleged, and this is alleged because like I said, there is nothing documenting that this was actually said or agreed on. Just even if Rob agreed to see her on the 13th and then he didn't show up for whatever reason, it doesn't mean that when the 20th came around that he then was not entitled to get his child on the 20th, the weekend that he was scheduled to get her. He still would have had a right to get her the following weekend. So he would have had her, a back-to-back weekend. He would have had her the 13th if he would have showed up, and then he would have also had her the 20th. Um, and that's how that should have went from my understanding. I'm no lawyer. I wasn't in a court with them, but based on my understanding, that's how that should have get. Him getting her the 13th or agreeing to the 13th does not void out the weekend of the 20th. Something else that people were confused by was I heard Amora reading it, and they just kept skipping over the extended part. So something else in this, it was something about Labor Day. I guess Briana had kept the baby from him on Labor Day, and everybody had said that Briana was wrong for that. But then yesterday, when they read the paperwork, Amora felt like, oh, she missed something, and Briana actually was not in the wrong. That she had a right to keep her because this was her year to keep her for Labor Day. And I'm like, that's not what that says. So let me read this to y'all real quick. It says, in addition to the pickup being Friday at 6:30 p.m. and ending the following Sunday at 6:30 p.m., it says, except that if Monday is a federal holiday, meaning if I pick her up Friday at 6:30 and the coming Monday is a federal holiday, the father's visitation shall be extended until Monday at 6:30 p.m. The father's visitation shall be extended, meaning he would get an extra day. And then the rest of it says that they will alternate years on the holidays. Each one of them are entitled to have her. So this year would have been Brianna's time to have her on Labor Day. Next year would be Rob's time to have her on Labor Day. Meaning if his weekend falls on the same weekend that Labor Day follows that Monday, then he would keep her from Friday till Monday. This year, um, if he had her, he was scheduled for the weekend. He would have still gotten her for that weekend, but he would not have been entitled to keep her for the Monday. He would have still had to send the baby back home Sunday at 6:30, and she would have spent that holiday for Monday with Rob. I mean with Brianna, not with Rob. So I think they just were skipping over where it says extended. That's a very important part of the statement. It just means his visitation time would have been extended beyond Sunday because it's a holiday Monday. It changes on that's yeah, it changes on odd and even years. Yes. So when I was listening, I'm like, y'all skipping over a word. It says extended, meaning like it's just the Monday in question, not the whole weekend. It doesn't mean that she was entitled to keep the baby that weekend because Labor Day fell that Monday. No, Rob still should have gotten her that weekend. He should have returned her on Sunday, and then Brianna would have been able to spend Labor Day with her on Monday because that would have been this year would have been her time to have her on Labor Day. Um, it was something else that I wanted to speak on too. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. So, um, it was another claim. I wouldn't trust any rearrangements unless it was in writing because is a big liar. She a big liar, exactly. And if they can't agree, no, Fonzo, hold on, let me see before I say no. It says so by the police saying Brianna saying his weekend was the 13th. How do we not know if they made a different agreement? Rob lied so much to protect his image. So it does not say. Let me see if I put it on here. Hold on, because I wanted to highlight that. Let me see if I put it on here. Hold on. Dang, did I put it on here? Hold on, let me pull it up, y'all. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. So I'm happy that you mentioned that. Let me see. That you mentioned that, Fonzo, because that was something that I heard read on the live too. Is a part inside the agreement, their agreement that is touching on the parents making a good faith effort to reach mutual decisions. Okay, this line outlines what it's referring to. Okay, so it says um the parents shall make a good faith effort to reach mutual decisions on major issues concerning the children. If after a good faith effort the parents are unable to agree, then the mother, Briana D. Hampton, shall have the final decision making authority on decisions pertaining to medical, education, religion, and extracurricular activities. This is not saying that Brianna has the final say so on their scheduling, visitation schedule. This is not saying that she has the final say on their visitation schedule. And I don't and it sounded like to me when I was listening, and I could be wrong, so I'm not going to put any add anything to what Amora said, but based on what she was comparing that line to in the visitation, I'm like, that line has nothing to do with the actual visitation agreement. It outlines what it is being specific to. It says, nevertheless, each party shall be permitted to take the child to any place of worship they desire while the child is in his or her care, and each party will equally be responsible for the expenses related to an extracurricular activity the child participates in, with the cost not to exceed da 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 da. I'm not gonna get into like the numbers. But that had nothing to do with the actual visitation schedule. That was outlining um other things that were specific to what it named. So I wasn't sure why that was being highlighted in regards to visitation and them being in Florida and things like that. Okay. Um so this is my understanding. Now something I was hoping that she sold, because I didn't go pay for this paperwork. This is what I saw on Amora's live. Let's be clear. She showed these receipts on her live, and I know that she pays for these documents. So I'm going to give her recognition for where I read the documents from. I'm not going to pay for nothing. I'm not that invested in things, and I typically don't go pay for court documentation. Okay, so it was something else I was hoping that she would highlight, because it keeps being said that Brianna has like sole custody, and that he has no rights or no say so about her taking the kids out of the state. um and that's not exactly true, right? Now I'm going to say this from my personal experience, and so unless we actually see this in writing, and I haven't seen it in writing, and I was hoping that she went over it. I didn't see anyone else cover this on their lives when I was listening in. Just because she primarily has the kid and he has visitation days does not mean that she can take that said child out of the state without first, getting his consent, them having a conversation about it. Because I have a child where I had um sole and legal custody of, and the father had visitation. But even with me having sole legal custody of my child, sole legal and physical custody of my child, it still was a notation in there where if I wanted to leave the state or the country, I had to consult with him. It wasn't something that I could just do on my own. So I'm not sure if it's something in her paperwork that states in their paperwork that stated that she didn't have to communicate with him about leaving Georgia or not, but I was hoping somebody covered that. I was hoping somebody covered that. No, I'm not saying traveling is not an extracurricular activity, Fonzo. But in this situation, it would have been his weekend to have his child. She can't schedule an extracurricular activity on a weekend that he's supposed to have his child if he didn't agree to forfeit his weekend. You understand what I'm saying? Now, I'm not going to assume that, April. I like your name though, April. Just let you know. I'm not saying that a vacation or traveling is not extracurricular activities. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that that does not fit that does not pertain to this situation with it being his weekend to have his child. You can't plan an extracurricular activity on somebody else's time. You understand what I'm saying? So those screenshots are from the contempt uh paperwork that Rob filed. Rob put in contempt paperwork and that was inside the those were screenshots he submitted. You welcome, April. April. It says it in a decree she has to inform him when leaving her. Okay, so bam, there you go. So there was another speculation that Briana was not in Florida. I had seen somebody saying like she was lying about being in Florida, and I had a little bit of time on my hands. You know what I'm saying? And they were saying she ain't in Florida. She went to Tennessee. Now I don't know why her being in Tennessee versus Florida was a big deal. Like I'm not sure why that was a big deal. Like why it mattered what state. It still wasn't Georgia, but a little Google search of the actual place would tell you when you go to Google, when you look at like the satellite or whatever it's called, the street view, this is what it looks like in front of the Florida location. Now, this is a screenshot from her reel, and this is a screenshot on the right side from Google Maps. And this is in actual Florida. So she was definitely in Florida on, location for what I think it was called like Wonderworks or something like that. And I know she tagged herself as being in like Daytona Beach. Now, Daytona Beach from here is like 4 hours. So I don't know if she just tagged herself to a random beach or, she went somewhere closer, which she could have. Sometimes people just type in beach and they don't want you to know exactly where they are. But she was definitely in Florida at this location, so she definitely was in Florida. She just wasn't, she just may have not been at Daytona Beach, but she could have traveled there. I don't know how far in between these videos were taken. She could have went here to Wonderworks and then they could have traveled further into Florida and went to Daytona, or she could have been at a local beach, like whatever. I didn't understand why that mattered. Now, this is a picture of what the one in Tennessee looks like. This is what the outside of the one in Tennessee looks like. They look completely different. Not the same, like at all. Like by far the same. Now, I know it was also some stuff about like him calling her phone like 50 times or something like that. We talked about, I think I touched on that a little bit like when it happened. So, and I know that some people are saying that the reason, are speculating like her reason for not giving the baby to him has something to do with those phone calls and harassments or whatever. I don't know nothing about that. I'm not sure. I just wanted to kind of give my perspective based on what I have been hearing in the streets and kind of read the documents myself, um, and go over what my thoughts were. So, from my understanding, he should have been able to get his child on the 20th. The 13th shouldn't have trumped the 20th. It shouldn't have voided it out. And I guess we'll just see what happens. Bree does not give them to her. It's public records. Duh. The parenting app is public records, Nikita. Now, I'm not saying Bree gave it to him. He put it inside the consent paperwork. He put it inside the consent. That's Panama City, Florida. Right. She probably said that location for safety reasons. Right. I could see that because, I normally tag myself. If I'm on location, I'll put like the wrong place. Or I'll wait to tag myself somewhere after I've already like gotten home. Briana is purposely trying to keep RH from his daughter, just like she did before the divorce was final. Y'all hit that thumbs up real quick for my girl Summer. Thank you, Jamie. I definitely will. I agree with that. Look, I definitely will lie about my location. So now, what I heard was something else I want to touch on that I'm a little bit confused about. Right? Not confused about, but kind of like, what you doing, bro? A little bit. Now, y'all might not like this because, um, so when she was reading the paperwork, it was something outlined in there where it had barred them from talking about each other on social media. It barred them from talking about each other on social media. Now, I haven't directly seen Bree say anything about Rob, I've seen her put up stuff like addressing things, but not anything directly. I could have missed it. I don't know. I'm not watching her page like in and out, but I have seen things that Rob has posted, like just like the video with the whole, the cop thing. And so I'm like, would that make him in violation of the court order? And I'm like, or like, can you go to jail behind this stuff? Because I've seen a couple of things that you could. He hasn't said her name. He hasn't said her name, and I know when people try to say he's saying her, he tell people like they should stop like speaking about her, and get their mind out the gutter like they always thinking about somebody else. I mean, but from the outside looking in and knowing like they situation, it do be looking like he be talking about Brie. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely be looking like he be talking about Brie, and so I'm wondering if that was to go to court and he'd be like, no, I wasn't talking about her. I didn't mention her name. Like, would that sit well with a judge? Because if I'm looking at it and I think you subbing her, will the judge feel that way too? Hey, Toya. This is something that shouldn't even. Facts, Jamie. Bro, all weekend I'm watching people battle about this whole thing. And I'm just like, it's crazy that so many people are able to sit down and discuss their personal business like it's a social media thing. Until he say her name, the court don't care about that. You sure, April? Bree be saying stuff and posting stuff. She slick with it. Okay, Ebony. So it be going over my head. You saying? And then because I don't know a lot. Like I'm new to this. Like I know I used to watch some of their skits when they were together. I kind of fell off, and then when I started blogging, which I've been blogging just a little bit over the year, and I didn't cover a lot of their stuff, so I'm definitely out of the loop. I have not been following this thing since the beginning. I just know it's been messy and a lot has happened. Um, I mean, that might be you might be right, April. Cause I know it says something about even like inciting and things like that. And so I know he has been on panels or in comments in places where dialogues is being had about Brianna and he's participating in them. So I don't know if like those like I don't know. That girl doesn't mention him anymore. The judge don't watch them enough to know if he is talking about her or just doing content on the subject. Well, he himself wouldn't need to watch them. It would be up to Brianna to present the information to the judge and to prove like he's talking about her. So it doesn't require the judge to watch their social media. The judge don't have to watch their social media to be painted a picture with the information and supported documents to say you definitely taking slugs at her. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know what I'm saying? Good morning, Margaret. How are you doing, beautiful? Bree will say something or post something, then take it down, post and delete, but people be catching it and screenshotting it. Um, I don't know. I'm wondering. You could be right, April. If she don't mention his name, the courts could say I don't care. But I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I'm just wondering. I'm just curious because if I was him, I definitely understand him recording, keeping documentation of like certain events. So he has a receipt for his record. I'm just like the part where it comes to social media, I don't know about that part. I definitely think he should record and keep receipts because otherwise it's her word against his. But putting it on social media, because I remember he posted that picture of picking her up. I forget what weekend that was when she was dropping her off, and he put that picture or that video up of her, and people were speculating as to whether she was pregnant or not, trying to say her belly was flat, she ain't pregnant. I'm like, that was messy. He said he recorded everything. He a content creator, and he need receipts. I understand the receipts, but the receipt ain't have to go online. The receipt didn't need to go online. I thought that was messy. We know you like Brianna, but he hasn't done any interviews since the agreement was put in place. I like Brianna. I like Robert. April. I'm not team Brianna or team. I'm not on anybody's team. I'm just talking about what I saw. So me liking Brianna has nothing to do with what's being laid out. I like Rob. So that has nothing to do with what's laid out. In the beginning of this dialogue, I spoke about the Rick Ross thing, and I'm like, I don't agree that he should have put his daughter off to go to the Rick Ross car show if that is what happened. But I don't have an exact understanding of what happened that weekend. I don't know if he just didn't get her or if it was some type of conversation or agreement about him not getting his daughter. So it's not about who I like at all. It's just about what we see playing out. It's a fact that the daughter is in Florida with Bree. It's a fact, according to their paperwork, that the weekend that she's with them in Florida would have been his weekend. From my understanding, from how I understood the paperwork, um, she doesn't have a say in the actual visitation. It was about other things where she would make the final decision. So it's not about like, and a lot of stuff I just said today is actually against Brie. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like Briana has been pretty quiet. I mean, from what I can see, but like I said, I could have missed some stuff. I don't watch them, you know, I don't watch them consistently to know like everything. And I know sometimes things is put up and then taken down. So if you miss it, you kind of miss it. But I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not team nobody. I'm not team nobody. I'm just talking about like what we see. I'm just talking about what we see. Um, Maybe Robert should start posting and deleting. They should all stop posting. Just stop putting it on social media. I have to say that her focus lately seems to be Janelle. Now, Brittany, I'm pretty sure with everything that's going on between her and Janelle, that's probably definitely where her focus is. Probably definitely because that's been a mess. That's been a whole nother situation with the screenshots going. I mean, with the posts going up and the allegations and the being pregnant with like I can't imagine. Exactly. They play like they don't see what he's doing, but if she said X, she would be wrong. Hmm. I think they need to stop playing and start thinking about what is best for their child. These grown folks get too caught up in their feelings for each other, and the child ends up paying for it. Um, when she say X, she's talking about Ja. Robert is the XX. Not she put the double X behind it, Rue. She put the double X behind. That's funny. We know Lupac sleep, eat, and dream. Oh, why y'all talking about Lupac? What's why? Let me ask y'all a question because I see we got a little bit of Team Bree here. Why is it such a big like beef between both sides? Like I could understand. Like I like Briana and I like Rob. Well, I believe Briana and I believe Rob. Like I get that, but why y'all fighting like among? Why y'all be fighting each other in the comments? And like, I've seen in some instances where people ended up in court and stuff behind this stuff. Like, what is going on? I'm like, I'm not going to court. I'm not going to jail. I'm not doing nothing that behind this social media stuff. So the minute my freedom is threatened, like legit threatened, not just words, but like legit threatened, you ain't gotta worry about me, baby. Hey, Margaret. Anybody else get frustrated with house cleaning? Like, damn, I just did all the laundry and it's full again. Speaking of laundry, I need to go put my clothes in the dryer. Robert wasn't supposed to get her the weekend of Rick Ross concert. That 2 weeks fell on Father's Day. He only wanted her on Father's Day, so why didn't he have her for the whole 2 weeks? Well, not according to that paperwork, Chris. He was supposed to get her that Friday before he went to the Rick Ross concert. According to the paperwork, from what I could tell, he was supposed to get her that Friday before the Rick Ross car show and keep her until Father's Day and then take her back home. According to what I understood from the paperwork. Now, I could be wrong, but according to what I understood from that paperwork that they showed, and this was not out of people's mouths, this was according to the paperwork. Because her spring break or whatever that was started that Friday. Or something like that. He was supposed to be entitled to 3 weeks or something like that out of the summer or something like that. I would have to see it in front of me, but I do remember reading the paperwork and it started the 31st. But just because he doesn't get her for a scheduled weekend or a scheduled time frame, which I know could be frustrating as heck, to Briana, because I could see in my situation, like, you ain't come get her, and you wanting to feel like, well, if you ain't come get her, then don't worry about coming to get her another day. But when there's a court order in place, and not even that, this is the father of the child, and if he has not put her in harm's way, then we got to put our feelings to the side. We can't withhold the children because we don't like how the father is moving. You have to then go back to court to try to get a different arrangement like made. But we can't just, make up our own rules along the way. Like, that's not how they go. But I get it, being a woman, I definitely get it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we have to like bite the bullet and just bear with it. But you have to go about things like the right way. And you don't want to be in a position where your child gets older and then they could blame you for keeping, them away from their other parent. It's hard not to be that middleman sometimes, but children grow up and they will understand what person was there for them versus what person was not. They will understand, like, whether this person was good to them or whether this person was not, whether they genuinely loved me or they not. Like, kids grow up and they are able to decipher those things on their own without us stepping in. Um, in my opinion, the only time a parent should get involved in preventing a child from seeing the other one is if they put them in some type of intimate danger. Like, you know, they doing something that is, unsafe for my child. They're putting them in harm's way. You know what I'm saying? Then no, you ain't getting mine because you're not finna get mine and my baby end up hurt or something. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about because, oh, you got this girlfriend, I don't want my child around this girl. Like, no, we can't control who the person we are no longer with dates. Now, unless you have some type of information, something about that person being like dangerous to children because they on some type of paperwork, then unfortunately we have to hope that or their other parent is being conscious and making the right decisions, thinking about their safety and their well-being before what's in their pants. You know what I'm saying? Which can be, it's hard. Most mothers are super protective. Fathers are super protective. You know what I'm saying? So it's just sad to see any of this like playing out the way that it is. Where the outrage for him not getting her the 13th as he, oh, y'all still in these comments. We are almost in October. Why is the summer visitation still a thing? The fact is that things seem to be going good until 2 or 3 weeks ago. Well, Brittany, a lot of my people over here are not familiar with Brianna and Rob because I don't cover them a lot. So I decided to take it back to the point where I felt like it became problematic to give them like a timeline of what was going on, Brittany. So that's why we were discussing it. Bree ain't the old Bree. She moving in silence while standing on business, and he out here digging a hole for himself because he listening to his supporters. Bree know what she doing. I hope they both know what they doing. Just because he didn't show up, that doesn't make him a bad parent. They doing something. You responded to somebody, Red? Because I definitely never said that. Just because he didn't come that long time, it's a big deal. I don't mess with him, but he is a good father. He has somewhere to go to. Yeah, but you having somewhere to go don't trump your responsibility as a father, Red. But why is she being shamed? But it was okay for him not get her for this summer. I'm Chris. Y'all must be responding to somebody because I'm lost. Summer back, he was supposed to get her for 2 weeks. The both been in contempt. I just hope they get a nice judge because baby, they doing the most. Yes, watching this play out on social media been crazy. Oh, she don't show proof. She just talk. Who don't show proof? Oh, Lupac is too emotional. If you don't agree with her dialogue, she blocks you off top. She don't know how to have a healthy debate. I don't like her. Dang, Rue. Well, I've seen Lupac. That's one of the pages that I follow. I have never sat in like an entire live of hers. And it's normally a replay. I don't think I've ever really caught her live. It's always like a replay. So I have no opinion of Lupac. I don't know her. I haven't, watched her enough to have no opinion. But um, she seemed like an okay person. Amanda, I did see that he put out that the wife book came out, but I haven't had a chance to read it. Did you get to read it, Amanda? I'm not about to be fighting with folks. I speak my opinion like everyone else, but some people get mad. Yeah, it's no reason. Everybody, let me tell y'all something. People are entitled to their opinions. Like their opinions is theirs, their perspective is theirs. There's no need to be having sweat beads coming down your head trying to, prove your point or push your point to someone else. Like it's okay for them not to see it your way. Y'all just agree to disagree. Y'all just agree to disagree and like keep it pushing. It's okay to have dialogue. I think people having a different perspective is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop the link because I'm gonna drop the link if to see if anybody would like to come up. I never clipped Facebook, did I? I never clipped Facebook. That's crazy. I'm gonna drop the link real quick in case anybody wanted to come up. Maybe if y'all heard something that I said that you wanted to give me some insight on, something that you feel like I got wrong, you want to share your perspective on what occurred today. You are more than welcome to come up. If nobody wants to come up, then we're gonna wrap this right on up. Lupac is a good concept. Oh, see, we got people here, Team Lupac, and we got people in here who not Team Lupac. I don't. She see. I mean, I've seen. I ain't even gonna go there because I know y'all be with y'all be team people. When I tell you y'all be team people, I think a lot of times though, people have picked their side and have an opinion of a person, and no matter what somebody says or what somebody brings forward, it ain't gonna matter. People gonna kind of paint the narrative that they want about an individual, and that's not cool. That's not cool. Where is the outrage that he keep posting subliminals and putting his personal life on the internet, then cry and say, Luck and Chris, y'all stop it." Robert screams father game, but he a father to two daughters, but he only speaks on baby Amora as if Dejaria doesn't exist. How was you a real father game? Well, I don't know what that situation is. I've heard little bits and pieces. Desharia is a teenager. And not to say that she isn't deserving of a father role. But I don't know what that insight is because the Sharia could want nothing to do with the man. You know what I'm saying? They relationship could be, estranged, and it could be her choice. I don't know, enough to say Robert is just being neglectful of her. Like, cause I don't know anything about her. I just found out that her mom lives in a hotel and had a baby. That the Sharia's mom lives in a hotel and just I'm like, wait, what? Huh? But I don't know nothing about that to even try to have a opinion on it. Why? Hey, Summer's room and chat. Lupac is a good content creator. Bree supporters just so disrespectful. So wait. So Bree supporters don't like Lupac? I thought Lupac was Team Bree. So if Summer is going, he still missed his 2 weeks. The judge not going to look over that because Summer over. If she in consent, he is not too. So I don't know if he. So we got people in the comments earlier that was saying the reason why he didn't get his daughter that week, those 2 weeks, is because it was some type of discussion where he thought she was going to be on vacation. That I guess Briana was supposed to be taking him somewhere, so that's why he didn't get her. But I'm not sure. And then there are some saying no, he just didn't get her because he wanted to go to Rick Ross' car show, which to me doesn't make any sense because why would, if it was a whole 2 weeks, right? And they could have decided, hey, these dates don't work for the 2 weeks for me. I got something to do. Like if they could have a conversation. Why did an event that was only one day prevent the whole, force the whole 2 weeks to go out the window? Like why did an event that was only one day have the entire 2 weeks thrown out the window? Like why couldn't he still pick up when he got back from the car show and keep her? Like I didn't understand that. Now I know it could have been, some, I don't know. I was trying to figure out why that one day kind of prevented the rest of the 2 weeks to continue on. How do you know he didn't come to an agreement with his oldest daughter? It was stated that she didn't want him to post her any longer, so he could be respecting her wishes. That's very true, Brittany. That's why I said I don't know enough about that situation to have like a nothing. Yes, you're correct. I love Lupex. She hasn't done anything to be. She's not biased. She only give her opinion on both sides. That's it. Dajaria used to live with Robert and didn't want to follow rules, so she's a young mother from her mama not being at. Ooh, Libra. Oh, she said what she said. Now, I don't know, but I'm not saying that's true or it's not true, but I could definitely see that being a thing. Most teenagers don't want structure or don't like structure, and if they can go somewhere else and get away with and do what they want, that's what they're going to do. Now, I'm not saying that that's the Sharia. Let me be clear. I'm not saying that that is what's happening with Robert and his daughter. I'm just speaking in general about teenagers and what they do. So that could be true or it could be false. I don't know. Okay. Lupac doesn't provide receipts or proof. Ooh. Jay, yes, they too invested. Like, who cares if he missed all this day till Bree should have filed a contempt? They going on. Bree supporters don't like no one who support RH. Lupac is Team Truth. Oh. Huh? Summer, no Lupac support. When I read the other lady comment, it looked like she was saying Lupac was Team Bree. My bad. Lupac is Team Robert. Lupac is definitely not Team Bree. Sorry, y'all. I read that wrong. I read it wrong, y'all. Sorry. Lupac stayed with the receipts. She does a lot of member only lives and shows up. Okay, so she keep the receipts for her members only. That's smart. That's smart because you got to give something to the folks who paying you a monthly subscription. So that's actually pretty smart. Why didn't complain about not get? That's a good question, Jazzy. Some people are saying that he was under the impression that his baby was going to be on vacation, Jazzy. So I don't know. He was. Some people are saying that he thought that the baby was on vacation, but I don't know. Lupac needs to focus on her runaway. Oh, now Nikita, let's be nice. Hey Mimi, how you doing? Good morning. Hey my girl, and right, like relax. I would hate to have a bitter baby mama. Just give that his child if he wants to be there. There are enough dads that ain't doing Ishtar. After she said, you know what, Nikita? I'm done with y'all. Let me tell y'all, thank y'all for coming over and vibing with me today. For those who were Team Bree, thanks for coming over. Those who were Team Robert, thanks for coming over. I appreciate y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed my perspective. This was my perspective and my 2 cents based off what I understood. So this is not me trying to attribute anything to someone else's truth. I don't know what the actual real is. The only people that know what the actual real is Robert and Bree. And it looks like we might see this play out and, see the information come out about when they go to court about the consent. We'll just have to see what happens next and how the judge rules. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and log off and go focus on some other stuff. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day and be kind in these comments. Stop tussling and fighting each other. All right, y'all. All right, bye. Bye, roomies.
Nice. The tea is coming soon. We got the tea. If you at home or on the move, but you gotta stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Summer's room. The tea is coming soon.
We got the tea.
If you at home or on the move, but you gotta stay tuned.
Stay tuned, y'all.
Summer's room.
Be sure to smash that follow button on all platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.